everyone, this is Sharon with Anteleki Visions, and this is an energy update for the week of May 25th through May 31st. So as we're finishing out this powerful month, we are beginning to see the slow reemergence back into the world. And things are also shifting for the upcoming change in seasons towards the summer. So there's a lot of buzz in the air of everyone being very eager to get out of their cages, to let loose, to have some freedom, some play, and really connect with others again. Within that space, it's really good to be very mindful of any overindulgence right now, because that can have a tendency to happen when we've been kind of cooped up for a while. It can feel almost like a bull that's being let out of its cage. So as we do reemerge, just be aware of that over excess and just kind of gauge how you are acting and the habits or the indulgences that you're taking part in. We are officially moving into Gemini season now. And so that is all about connecting with others, people connecting. It can be a very chatty season, a chatty sign. So you may find that a lot of people are wanting to contact you or connect with you. Maybe people are emerging out of your past, kind of dropping in to say hello, where it's been years since you've heard from them. This period also has us really reflecting on ourselves and our lives. And I went through this in the previous updates where we were going to be getting an overhaul to our sense of worth, to our relationships, to our life path, and how we are involving ourselves out in the world, spending our time and our value. So this is really getting an overhaul right now. And you might have noticed some themes for yourself surrounding self-worth really arising lately, especially surrounding the new moon this past week. That any time we look at these areas within ourselves, we address the shadow side of it first. And so with that, we have an overhaul of revamping and learning from those shadow aspects related to our worth. And this is inviting us to really raise the bar in our life of what's possible for us. So maybe we've set the bar at a certain height and we didn't even realize it. But now is the time to really lift that bar, kind of raise the ceiling of what you even thought was possible in your life. And you may be saying, how is that even possible with the way that the world looks right now? That you may feel limited in certain ways. But know that we are the co-creator of our path, and that is something that is regardless of what's occurring in external circumstances. So we can attract abundance, we can attract things that we do desire regardless of what's happening, because all is energy and all is moving and fluid. And so remember this when you're feeling maybe boxed in or your mind goes to the limitations of the present situation. Remember how much you're supported and how limitless and infinite you really do have the possibilities and opportunities available to you. So with this next phase, with this reemergence, you may be considering in your life how to move forward, how to implement all that you've learned, all that you have shifted within the last several months, these new perspective shifts that you've been contemplating and that have come to your awareness now. So this is a time to really move toward those perspective shifts, to act towards your dreams as we are reemerging. And there's definitely a new way of doing things. And there's also a completely new shift in who you are. So allow your mind to be free of the shackles of what's currently happening. Yes, it's good to keep everything in mind and to be aware of the physical reality and all that's really occurring, but also to have that hope inside and to cultivate that hope as a way to move forward in this next chapter. And it's not being ignorant of what's presently occurring, but it's keeping in mind that we can shape our future and that we can do this with the collective in mind. The new moon that we had this past week opened up a doorway toward the eclipse season, which is coming next month. And it is right around the corner. So we are already in that energy. The eclipse energy begins about a month prior to, and then 6 months following the eclipse. So eclipses are that cosmic wild card energy, kind of expecting the unexpected. And it's nothing to fear. Eclipses serve a purpose to kind of shift things in our life that maybe needed some altering, or something that we weren't ready to let go of, but we needed to let go of. And they can touch our lives in many different ways, either very subtly or very profoundly, with endings and beginnings. So we are entering this doorway, and we're already in this come this new moon this past week. So the first eclipse happens on June 5th, which is a lunar eclipse, and this will start a series of eclipses, which they usually do come in a sandwich, in a pair, so lunar and a solar, to help to release and also to bring things into our life with a new beginning. This particular series is coming in threes this summer. So I don't want to jump too far ahead with this, but I do want to kind of give you a synopsis of what we are heading towards in the next month or so. So we'll have a lunar first, which is about a release and ending. The second will be a solar around the solstice point of summer solstice. And then we'll have another lunar eclipse in July. So we're in for a lot of shifting, a lot of flux come this upcoming month and in this week ahead, which is already beginning that. So you may be noticing a lot of kind of scattered energy and very forward, fiery, moving energy. So a lot is very all over the place and not exactly sure how to pinpoint anything solid right now. And that shifting flux kind of energy will continue for the next several months. So it's a good idea to try to be flexible in these times and to not really put your finger on anything as a definitive point. In other words, to allow the fluidity of the changes and adapting to the shifts that are occurring, because a lot is going to be in that kind of wave-like motion for the next several months. And it's good because we're still releasing, we're still purging, and we're also emerging, trying to figure out what this new pattern of life is going to look like. And we're also adapting and allowing ourselves to integrate from how things do look like with all the changes that we have experienced. So there's a lot happening externally and internally with all of this. And you may also find that within the swirl of life right now, that there's a lot of duality, that there's a lot of differing and opposing forces at the moment. A lot of opinions, which I've been mentioning in the last couple updates, but this is continuing and it will continue. And it's almost like there's this very strong separation or a very strong divide amongst people. And especially with a sense of not really imagining that this would divide certain people, that we've kind of gone along and we've had our communities, and certain opinions are popping up with many people right now, and it's luring people into their own world. There's kind of a not manipulative, but almost an agenda that many people are having presently. And I don't want to dive too much into this because there's a lot going on with that. But really, it's a reflection, it's a mirroring of people's trauma. It's a mirroring of fear and emotions that they're still purging, all of us. So we can all have our own opinions and stances on things. And right now, it's a good period to really try to stay in your center, especially as we're re-emerging out in the world, because this is all still occurring and we're all still purging so much. So as you do re-emerge, it's a good time to really up your practices, because if you feel centered, even before you leave the house, if you can find time to meditate, to go within, to exercise, to really keep your energy clear, to keep your vibration high, your energetic vibration high, you can feel less swayed by the swirl of the purging that's still happening out in the world and even within yourself. So try to adapt that as we do kind of come out of our holes and we go out into the swirl of all that's occurring, to up your game with how you're taking care of yourself even more, even if you've been doing that already. And with that, as you do go out into the world, try to hold true and strong to the perspectives and any revelations that you've gained over the last several months. That whatever has arisen for you, that you have found to be your truth within this period, hold strong to that. And allow that to remain within yourself. And know that that can also light the way for you moving forward. So we have a very, very powerful month ahead. And with this, just allow yourself to be open-minded. Allow yourself to be adaptable and compassionate with all you're experiencing, because we have been through much, and this year is not over yet, and there's so much that's still being realigned, shaped, and shifted for all of us. So be very gentle with yourself. These times are not easy. These times are very unique. So if you need to step away, if you need to find some time for yourself within all of the swirl of that, it is okay to do that. If you do need additional support at this time, I am still offering remote services and in-person services as I slowly reopen the practice. You can learn more at entelechivisions.com. I invite you to like and subscribe to this channel, as it does help to support it. And I hope you have a wonderful week ahead, a finale of May, and start of the eclipse season. Thank you for listening, and have a wonderful day.